I was trying to wipe some paint off the little micro SD card reader to touch it up, and I screwed up the front of this with some lacquer thinner, being stupid. So instead of buying a new face, I decided to like sand it, give it like a brushed look. I should probably do the same thing to the disc tray, because that's how the whole face looked. And the lacquer thinner just basically kind of wiped off this texture down to the plastic. It was weird. I didn't know that you could like wipe off those dots. So I basically wiped down the whole face with lacquer thinner and then sanded it to give it a kind of brushed look. And then I took a little silicone lubricant and rubbed it into it to kind of condition the plastic so it didn't look all dried out and nasty. But it kind of looks cool. I mean, it looks a lot different than the original texture. And it's clearly blowing out the bottom and drawing air through the top, so that worked out. Can't believe it. I just painted the other side black, and I didn't notice, but one of these little feet were missing. Just scrape already, but I'll probably repaint this backside. But I also need to order 4 feet. I'm just going to get some sticky rubber feet that are really shallow. I don't want them sticking off this very much, just barely enough. The only thing that's what I have to do is I got to get some black hot glue, because I'm going to hot glue this grate in. Just on the inside, I'm going to put a tiny little bead of hot glue on the inside, and you won't even be able to see it. And then I'm going to hot glue this one in too. But this one I'm not going to hot glue, because in order to get to this clip right here, the fan is in the way now, so it's kind of real convenient to pull this grate off and push the little clip. Alright, I flipped it on its side just to all nice and clean now. The only part I haven't done yet is this little tiny edge, and I can do that in a minute, but I even did like back here and around like these edges. It started out being a screw up, you know, in my opinion, is one of the coolest parts of the whole build. So Newegg delivered the 750 Ti today. Let's open up the box, see what we got. So here it is. And it's freaking smaller than I thought it was. And it looks pretty much just badass. MSI did a really good job on this thing. But look at how small it is. I mean, I don't have tiny hands, but they're not the biggest around. That thing just looks freaking awesome. Let's get the low profile bracket on it and see how it fits in the 780. I took off the big bracket, put on the 2 small ones. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's no way to mess it up because the shape matches the plug. So you can only put them on one way. It makes it easy for the knuckleheads like myself. Let's see if we can put this in one-handed. It just fits perfect. It's going a little slower than normal. Seems like it's sorting out the graphics card, all that stuff. But that thing's freaking perfect. What a cool little card. I'm gonna mess with this graphics card, see what we got. I just wanted to show you guys this cool SATA cable that I picked up from SATAcables.com, and it wasn't that hard to find, but it took a little bit of searching to find one, since my little Optiplex SFF only has one SATA power cable, and I want to have a little LED strip in there also. I found this that has SATA and Molex, and then it splits off to the two SATAs, so I can do both my hard drives. Pretty sweet though. I thought it was pretty cool. I like the way it's designed, you know what I mean? I didn't want another Molex like tethered off. It just looks nice and compact. And the best part about it was only $4.99, $2.99 shipping. Got here in a couple days. Wasn't bad at all. If anyone needs something like that, you know where to go. So I was playing a couple games the other day just to check this little thing out. I just ran some like Metro 2033, and it was running really nice. It's just that the computer just seemed like it was putting on much heat. You know what I mean? Like too much heat to just ignore. And I wanted a nice window without a case fan in the way, but now I think I'm going to be putting a case fan. So to do that, I cut up the old hard drive tray and used some cardboard and stuff to mock up a little fan, Caddy, I guess. Fan's gonna go right there. This is just cardboard right now, but I'm gonna replace it with some clear plexiglass. So what I did was, before I started cutting up this hard drive Caddy, I just kind of fit in a piece of cardboard at the right, length and width, and then I double-sided taped it onto the plastic, and then started cutting away the rest of the plastic. So it was just basically the two end pieces. So when I take out this cardboard piece, when I take these two plastic pieces off and I make this pattern into plexiglass, I'll just be able to clean up these pieces of plastic. I'm just gonna like make them really nice and clean so it doesn't look shitty. And even this is where I cut out the little hard drive fan. So this is all chopped up like that anyways, which is kind of a bummer, but I'll clean it up as much as I can. I don't know, epoxy it all together. I might even epoxy the fan on there just to give it a little more structural support. But then I'm just gonna go like this and take it, and just like it's a hard drive, slip it in there, clip it in, bam. And basically the shape of it was dictated by needing a little gap here and these wires here. So basically the shape is what it had to be, pretty much. But there's the new fan Caddy. Hopefully it is functional and looks good at the same time. Once I put the clear plexiglass, you'll be able to see most of the motherboard still, and the green lights are kind of illuminating. Gives the graphics card plenty of room. Once the case is on and I got a decent little window here, you'll still be able to see some nice, component action. So I pretty much finished the fan Caddy, replacing this piece of cardboard here, plexiglass. Kind of trimmed it out with some of that carbon fiber vinyl that I have, just to like clean up those two edges. I just used some standard fan screws and I epoxied those pieces. It's pretty sturdy once that fan was screwed on there. The graphics card just basically looks like it was made for it. That's about as close as it gets. I like how it turned out. I'm always doing stuff by hand, so it's hard to get stuff to line up perfectly and be straight. That's why I wind up doing stuff like this to, you know, hide the imperfections. But that's kind of what a mod is all about.